All right, let's be honest. Have you ever lost an entire afternoon fighting with CocoaPods or trying to figure out a bizarre Carthage conflict? You know that feeling, like you're spending more time wrestling with your tools than actually building your app? Well, today we're diving into Apple's own super elegant solution to all that chaos, the Swift Package Manager.
So, I've got to ask, does that struggle I just mentioned sound a little too familiar? Are you still juggling those other external tools? Hey, if you are, you're in the perfect place because we're about to map out a path forward that is so much cleaner, faster, and just better integrated. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get straight to the point. What exactly is Swift Package Manager? Then we'll see how it stacks up against the old way of doing things. From there, we'll get into the good stuff, the real-world benefits for your projects, how it makes your workflow smarter, and finally, why knowing this stuff is an absolute must for your career.
Okay, first things first. Before we go any further, let's get a really clear definition of what we're talking about here.
Okay, this is the most important thing to get. Swift Package Manager, or SPM as you'll hear it called, isn't some extra thing you have to download and fight with. It's Apple's own tool. It was built by Apple for the Apple ecosystem. That means it's not just bolted on, it's woven right into the fabric of Xcode and the whole Swift toolchain.
And using it is just wonderfully simple. Seriously, you just declare what libraries you need in one file, it's called package.swift, and that's pretty much it. From there, SPM just takes over. It handles downloading the right versions, compiling them, linking them, the whole shebang. It just works.
Now, to really appreciate what SPM brings to the table, it helps to remember the headaches it was designed to solve. So let's do a little compare and contrast with what most of us used before.
You know, the old way often felt like a tangled mess, right? You had these external command line tools, all this clutter in your project with extra folders and workspaces. It was just a pain to get a new developer up and running. But the SPM way, it's all built in. It's clean. The integration is basically effortless.
And this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that. SPM is native while the others are external. And check out the repo impact. SPM is minimal, but CocoaPods and Carthage dump entire, often huge directories into your project. But for me, the real game changer is that last row. Platform. SPM works on Linux too, which makes your Swift code truly portable. That's huge.
So we've used words like minimal and native. What does that actually mean for your project's day-to-day? Well, let's talk about the lean, fast, and clean advantage. You see, because SPM is so tightly integrated with the Swift build system, it can figure out dependencies and compile code way more efficiently. And what that means for you is faster builds, fewer of those annoying merge conflicts in your project files, and an app that's just easier to understand. Let's get really specific about that cleanup. First off, you can officially say goodbye to that massive pods directory that's been bloating your project folder for years.
And second, you no longer have to manage a separate .xc workspace file just to make your dependencies work. Nope, you just work directly in your good old .xc project file. The result of all this? Your source control repository is suddenly lightweight and focused purely on your code, which, is exactly how it should be.
Okay, so a clean project is awesome, no doubt. But what really matters is how this stuff impacts your daily grind, right? So let's look at how SPM actually makes you a smarter, more efficient developer.
Well, for starters, managing packages becomes ridiculously simple. You can add a new dependency with just a few clicks right inside Xcode's interface. It pulls everything directly from Git repositories, and it has amazing support for semantic versioning, so you can lock your dependencies to specific versions with total confidence.
And I have to come back to this cross-platform point because it is such a big deal. The ability to use the exact same tool to manage dependencies for your iOS app and your server-side Swift backend, that is an absolute game changer for sharing code and keeping things consistent.
But here's the thing. SPM isn't just about making your life a little easier today. It's about future-proofing your skills. It's about aligning yourself with where the entire Apple ecosystem is going.
What's driving this whole shift is momentum. SPM is being constantly improved by Apple themselves, adding critical features like support for binary dependencies and resources. And more, you'll see that all the cool new open source libraries are being released as SPM first. The community is voting with their code.
And here's some real talk, some practical career advice. If you are interviewing for a Swift developer job today, you are going to be asked about this, for sure. Knowing SPM isn't a bonus anymore. It's an expectation. It shows you're current. It shows you know modern best practices.
And this quote it says it all, really. Being a modern Swift developer means using Swift Package Manager. It's not just another choice on a list anymore. It is the standard.
So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. Take a look at the projects you're working on. What are you using right now? And after seeing all this, isn't it maybe time to make the switch? Thanks for joining this explainer, and happy coding.